RC family, back again. We about to do this kick up and anti-squat and droop for your cars. And big shout out, this anti-squat, kick up and anti-squat and droop. This was requested from my boy Infamous RC. This goes out to you, my brother. And if y'all have any more questions about any kind of setup stuff, and like I said, I'm learning this too as I'm doing it. This is helping me learn this, so when I get to the track, I can recall this stuff. So this is helping me out too as we learn this together. So like I said, this goes out to my boy Infamous RC. He hit me up saying he wants to learn a little bit more about kick up and anti-squat. Infamous, here we go, baby. But yeah, let me flip this round, y'all. We finna get at it. All right, EKJ 24,000. Y'all hold on. Okay, RC family, kick up and anti-squat. All right, kick up is the angle between the B block and the angle between the A block on the front of your buggy or truggy. It's just, kick up is for the front end and anti-squat is for the rear end. The front end of the chassis is bent up normally about 8 degrees, as you can see in the diagram how the chassis is bent up. And kick up is the amount you can adjust that kick up angle, like you see in the diagram. That's the angle that you can adjust your kick up. So on most cars, front arms can also be set so the angle they are at when viewed from the side, like we're looking at it now, when viewed from the side, are less or more than the chassis 8 degree of kick up. So it's built in your chassis in the front, like you see on my truggy. You see that angle? See that gold piece here? That's the deep B block. And you see that the other gold piece here in the front, that's my A block. So the kick up, like I just said, is that degree of angle from the A block to the B block. And the kick up is just that chassis is bent up at an 8 degree angle. So you can adjust that point. And while you're adjusting that point, if you have more kick up on the front, it makes the car go better through the bumps and makes it jump better. That if you add more kick up. If you add kick up, it makes the car go better through the bumps. It also makes the car jump better with more kick up. Okay. Especially on jumps with rough, uneven faces, more kick up also reduces steering. So it makes your car with more kick up, it makes your car go over jumps that has rough or uneven faces of the jump. And you can adjust this too. Like I said, this relates to, I don't know if you can really do this on the fifth scale, but fifth scale does have that 8 degree of kick up in the front. So you probably could adjust that, but you might have to buy aftermarket A and D blocks that you can put peels in them, and you can adjust. The angle is that, again, that angle is the angle that you can adjust your hinge pin. That's what it's on. It's on the hinge pin. Like in this diagram, it's the angle that you can adjust your hinge pin location that's connected from the A block, the hinge pin, inner hinge pin from your A block to your B block. That's that kick-up angle you can adjust with the inserts or either with your A or B block itself. You can adjust that angle. So again, with more kick-up, it makes the car better through bumps and makes it jump better. And especially on jumps that have rough or uneven faces. Also, more kick-up also reduces steering, especially steering response as it calms the car down and makes it smoother. So it also, with more kick-up, it smooths out the steering response, calms that down, and makes just the whole overall steering more smoother with more kick-up also. So, and one more thing, with more kick-up, the car will also transfer more weight as the front will rise when you're accelerating. So that's another thing to remember. With more kick-up, like this would be something good if you drag racing or bashing, and you drag racing while you're bashing. If you give your car more kick-up, it also makes the car transfer more weight as the front wheel rise when accelerating and will lower on the braking with more kick-up. And the effects of this can have an effect on making the car easier to brake around hairpins as the weight transfers to the front, and the rear can slide around easier when you have more kick-up. All this relating to the front of the car, more kick-up. Like I said, this can have an effect on making the car easier to brake around hairpins as the weight transfers to the front, and the rear will slide around easier with more kick-up. So, like I said, it would give your car that much rear rotation with more kick-up in the front. So keep that in mind, especially us racers. Keep that in mind. Okay, with less kick-up, it makes the car more responsive and better for smooth and high traction tracks. So again, if you're out on the pavement running and your car feels stuck, or if it's pushing a lot, you can take out reduced kick-up. With less kick-up, makes your car more responsive. Makes it more responsive. It take out some of that pushing. Makes it more responsive. It makes it better for smooth and high traction tracks. The car will be more stable on high traction tracks due to less weight transfer in the front. So when you give it brakes, it's not gonna dip down as much. Like when you go on brakes, how I notice when you, especially like on monster trucks, when you give it brakes and that nose dips down, or you can, especially on truggies too. A lot of times you get brakes, when you get on the brakes, you notice that your nose dive down. That's just that weight transfer. So with less kick-up, like I said, it makes your car more stable on high traction tracks, and it gives your car less weight transfer. Okay. The rear, the kick, well, it's not kick-up in the rear is called anti-squat. So same thing on anti-squat in the rear, as you can see in the diagram. It's just, you can adjust the angle of your hinge pin from the C block to the D block. From the C block, like you see on my truck, to the D block. I can adjust that angle on the hinge pin. See that insert in front? See that insert? See that little gray insert behind the nut? That's how I adjust my anti-squat, with that insert on my truck. Some may have this, some might not. Like I say, some you just can do it by replacing the C block on your car. And also in the rear, you see those inserts in the rear? I can adjust it there. Anti-squat. So for the rear arms with anti-squat, keep in mind the rear arms are angled in a similar way to the front arms, but a lot less. Normally between 2 to 4 degrees, and it's called, like I said, it's called anti-squat. Okay. Sometimes some drivers like to use very little anti-squat, from 0 to 1 degrees of anti-squat. 0 to 1 degrees of anti-squat, what that does, less anti-squat, it makes it easier going over bumpy sections, and it also loosen that rear end up, and it give your car a little bit more corner speed and makes it better in bumps. So like I said, a lot of drivers like to use 0 to 1 degree of anti-squat, and some like to use maybe up to 6 degrees, also up to 6 degrees. But a normal spot for anti-squat for your rear of the car is normally about 2 to 4 degrees. Normally is the range that you want to be in for anti-squat. Different brand cars react slightly differently to the amounts of anti-squat. So depending on your brand, it may act a little different than other brands when you change it from 2 to 4, normally from 2 up to 4 degrees, but some people like to go up to 6 degrees of anti-squat. So, and like I said, different brands, your car may react differently. So it is something that you have to go out and test for yourself and see what it is. But a good starting point is from that 2 to 4 degrees anti-squat. Okay. So if 3 degrees feels good with your car, then keep it at around about 3 degrees. Like I said, from 3 to 4 degrees is normal. And it may not be so great with other cars. So just keep in mind that anti-squat, again, is good for more anti-squat. It'll give your car that little bit more rotation. It's good on high grip tracks, having more anti-squat. But when you reduce it, take the anti-squat out, that's good when you're going over rough, bumpy sections. Because when you take it out, just think about it. When you take this angle out, you make it closer to the base, to this bottom line. When you make it closer to that, that's gonna reduce that much space when you're going over bumps. So when it's less anti-squat, when it's closer to bottom, there's less amount of, I guess you can say, that's a less amount of reaction to bumps. It take that movement out. It makes it flat, so it won't have that much area of range of travel, you know what I'm saying, up and down So if it's flat, then it's going to be more planted when it go over bumps. And also, Infamous want to know about Droop. Droop is, you know, you have your Droop tabs that's on the bottom of your chassis. Y'all can see. Go back some. Right there. It's my Droop. My Droop tabs right here. Right there. But anyway, the more Droop you have, it makes the car more stable also. With more Droop, the more Droop you have, it's going to make your car more stable, more easier to drive. But with less Droop, see, I'm down at max. I got my shocks off, so it's all the way down. That's the most Droop. In truck, I run probably about 100 and maybe 125 millimeters worth of Droop, something like that, around that ballpark. But like I said, the more Droop you have makes the car that much easier to drive. But it also makes it easier to drive and also jumps well with Droop. But when you go on a bumpy track or you going off-road or bashing when it's real bumpy, the more Droop you have, the more unstable your car will be, because your wheels are going down into the holes because you have that much more travel. That much more travel with all that Droop. So less Droop also gives you more corner speed, because your car really don't have that much space to, you know, roll left or right, because you're having less Droop. So Infamous, I hope that helps, man. And again, on the Droop part, the more Droop, more stable, more easier to drive. Less Droop, it makes your car go over bumps much easier. And less anti-squat makes it easier in the bumps also. And yeah, y'all, hope that helps. Infamous, anytime. Anybody else that may have something that you want me to go over and try to explain, like I said, it's a lot of information. So that's why I have my notebook here, and I keep notes, and I keep little diagrams and stuff like this to help me when I'm out at the track, to help it make it more easier on myself, so I can just pull it out at the track and see what I need to just need to help the car be more better on the surface that I'm running on track. Then again, if you're bashing, keep your little, for the bashers, for the bashers and stuff, I'm gonna make a little setup sheet easier for y'all, cause stuff like this, anti-squat, kick up and anti-squat, it's really kind of yeah. Bashers really don't have to worry about that type of stuff, really, because you just bashing. But I mean, if it's real bumpy, a real bumpy surface, like going to a construction site, running your cars on that type of dirt, it's real bumpy out there. So yeah, you can adjust your anti-squat and your and less Droop to make your car a little bit more stable and controllable out there in those bumps. But I'm gonna try to come up with a little simple setup sheet for bashers. A lot of the stuff for bashers, I would recommend just checking that ride height and going long on your links, longer links, going long on your links, especially like with the Traxxas vehicles and with the armor vehicles, RTRs. You don't have to have a titanium Lunsford links, but if it's stock and you can adjust these links like this, going out longer on them makes your car a little bit more stable, and it won't make it flip so much when you're turning, stuff like that. And maybe stiffen up your diffs, oils as a basher, just so you get all the power you want and make the car extra fun to drive. So I may do that video on things you would set up if you're bashing. So y'all stay tuned with that. But yeah, this is for my boy Infamous RC. Hope y'all learned a little something. Infamous, if you need any more explanation, just leave a comment in the comment section. And y'all, I appreciate you. And remember to go on Spotify, Podbean, and check out the RC Lounge podcast. And y'all can hear all the stuff we have talked about over the years. And some of y'all are on those podcasts. So y'all go check them out. Go check them out. Some of y'all are on those podcasts. So y'all go check them out. The RC Lounge podcast. I got it on Podbean and also on Spotify. Same thing that Joe Rogan comes on. Earn Your Own Leisure comes on Spotify. All your major, podcast listening stations like Spotify, Podbean. So yeah, hope y'all learned something. Got something from that EKJ 24,000. Like I said, we just went over Kickup and Antisquat, and we went over Droop. All right, y'all. If you ain't ripping, you tripping. Let them haters be your motivators. We need more bashing, less yapping. I'm talking to myself too, cause Nitro is definitely alive. Had a race, PNB, over 1,000 entries. That let you know Nitro is definitely alive. PNB had 900 entries. Nitro is definitely alive. RCGP we just had that race. All nothing but Nitro buggies. Nitro is definitely alive. Don't believe the hype. All right, y'all. Left eye salute. Yeah.